You're very handsome in person.
You want to let me take you on a date?
You want to take me on a date?
Yeah.
You can take me on a date. How old are you?
I'm 18.
I have a feeling we can go wherever we want to go, even with you being 18.
For sure.
Okay.
21 Savage had the Fuck the Streets movement that he kind of has been promoting these last...
I don't even fuck about that. I am the streets. I love the streets. I come from the streets. I ain't on all that pussy ass shit. But about that, I ain't just like stopped about it. Same shit I've been on.
I ain't doing nothing while you hold him like that. He ain't doing shit though. A motherfucking thing. Already.
Rappers spend all day trying to create a mystique. Like NBA YoungBoy's mystique about him. They're strategically creating this air of doubt and wondering. YoungBoy posts from 6 different pages. Like,
so you think he posts from his fan pages?
YoungBoy's called me up and said, "Yo, give me your password. I'm going live on your page." Like, the mystique of it is just not going from his page. You just don't know where you'll catch it.
Yeah, really, Jay and YB them had gotten to it, but I just was like y'all boy tripping, man. That shit ain't even about shit. But it just like, them boy had gotten to them telling me like, y'all had tripping. I used to call Ben like, bro, y'all had tripping, bro. I ain't never been in no shit about no, you feel me?
Right.
How about no female, no shit like that, you feel me? I don't even, cause get what? If I die and you go to jail, she gonna be with somebody else.
In his video, right? You go to the next one, he got a gun in his video, right? Man, you gotta dig a little deeper sometime, bro. All right, now look at his mama. His mama ain't no gangster, so how the fuck is he a gangster? That shit don't be adding up, bro.
Don't try to sit on.
Don't try it on. It's all entertainment.
Nipsey Hussle, his death, like how has that infected you or impacted you as a man, as a father, and someone very impactful in the industry?
I can't show fake love. I don't know him, but God bless his family, I guess.
Thank you.
He was supposed to be celebrating. Boy Young had just touched down from a bid. First song out. Fresh energy. A chance to prove he wasn't just NBA YoungBoy's little brother. He was his own artist. And then the atmosphere shifted. Because when your last name connects to NBA YoungBoy, nothing is ever just music. It's history, it's tension, it's unfinished business. And for Boy, dropping that first track didn't just spark excitement, it stirred a war that never really cooled off. But to understand why one song could create this much noise, you have to start with Blood. Boy Young has never hidden how he feels about his brother. In interviews, he keeps it simple. That's my brother. But then he adds something heavier. He says YoungBoy was more like a father to him. Growing up in Baton Rouge without a strong father figure, YoungBoy wasn't just a sibling. He was guidance, protection, motivation. When people ask what it feels like having one of the biggest rappers in the world as your brother, Boy doesn't talk about mansions or chains. He calls it motivation. That tells you everything. To him, YoungBoy wasn't just a superstar, he was proof that somebody from their circumstances could break through. And behind the scenes, YoungBoy reportedly kept pushing him, telling him he was the sickest, telling him to go hard, telling him he had it. So when B-Way dropped his first track after coming home, it wasn't random. It was destiny, at least in his eyes. But destiny in the NBA world comes with a cost. Because YoungBoy's career hasn't just been built on streams and plaques, it's been built inside one of the most intense rap feuds of the last decade. And that feud traces back to one night in Atlanta. In November 2020, rising Chicago star King Von was fatally shot outside a nightclub. The situation involved associates of Quando Rondo, one of YoungBoy's close collaborators. Even though YoungBoy wasn't there, lines were drawn immediately. On one side, NBA. On the other, O Block and the circle around Lil Durk. What started as tragedy turned into retaliation energy. Diss tracks escalated things. Subtle bars became direct shots. Social media turned into a battleground. And unlike typical rap beefs, this one didn't stay lyrical. It spilled into real life. Threats, flag burnings, public taunts. Warnings aimed not just at artists, but at entire camps. The temperature never truly dropped. And years later, that tension followed YoungBoy everywhere, including Chicago. When YoungBoy announced a show at the United Center, the reaction online was immediate. Some fans were hyped, others saw it as pure disrespect. Threats reportedly began circulating, messages warning what would happen if he stepped on that stage. Security concerns allegedly intensified. Eventually, the show was canceled. Sources suggested it wasn't YoungBoy backing down. It was bigger than that. Venue concerns, security costs, risk assessment. Whether you believe every detail or not, one thing became clear. The tension was strong enough to shut down a major arena event, and that sends a message. If they can disrupt a superstar show, what happens to the younger brother just stepping into the spotlight? That's the shadow B-Way walked into. But here's the twist. The outside beef isn't the only source of pressure. Sometimes the fire comes from inside the house. YoungBoy has built a reputation for intensity, fallouts with artists like No Cap, tension with former collaborators, public disagreements that played out in real time. Even creative partnerships have ended abruptly. And then there were moments where lines were crossed in diss exchanges, including references to people close to rivals. That unpredictability has become part of his brand. Fans call it authenticity. Critics call it self-sabotage. Either way, it creates enemies. And when you stack street tension on top of industry fallouts, you get a long list of people watching your every move. Which brings us back to Bway. He didn't choose the war. He was born into it. When he dropped In This Be, the tone wasn't soft. It wasn't industry-friendly pop rap. It was aggressive, drill-heavy, confident, exactly the type of energy that excites fans. And exactly the type that draws attention. Clips started circulating, blogs picked it up, conversations sparked. But attention in this world is double-edged. Because in a feud that's lasted over 5 years, new faces connected to the NBA name don't go unnoticed. And Bway doesn't just share the brand, he shares the bloodline. That matters. What makes this situation different isn't just the music, it's the timing. Reports have linked Bway to renewed legal trouble shortly after his release. The details remain complex and unfolding, but the headlines alone add pressure. So now you have a fresh release, lingering legal smoke, a brother at the center of one of rap's most volatile feuds, and a spotlight that never dims. That's a lot for anyone, but in the NBA ecosystem, it's almost normal. And that might be the most dangerous part. Because when chaos becomes routine, people stop recognizing how risky things really are. The real cost of loyalty isn't streams, it's stress. It's knowing your family's name carries weight in cities you don't even live in. It's understanding that every post, every lyric, every appearance can be interpreted as a statement. In this climate, silence says something. A caption says something. Even who you stand next to in a photo can turn into a headline by morning. That's the reality surrounding NBA YoungBoy and anyone tied to his name. The spotlight doesn't just follow him, it scans everyone in his orbit. For Bway, supporting his brother isn't optional, it's instinct. This isn't industry loyalty, it's family. It's growing up in the same house, in the same struggle, watching your big brother turn pain into platinum records. YoungBoy didn't just motivate him with words. He showed him what survival looked like. He showed him how to turn trauma into momentum. When Bway steps forward, he's not just chasing fame. He's honoring the blueprint he was handed. But loyalty in this environment is complicated. Because sometimes standing beside someone means standing in front of whatever comes their way. And YoungBoy's path has never been quiet. The tension tied to his career, especially after the fallout surrounding King Von and the ongoing friction connected to Lil Durk, hasn't completely faded. It lingers, it resurfaces, it reacts. And history shows that the NBA camp doesn't experience small reactions. Everything escalates. Online words become real-world consequences. Disenergy multiplies. Situations snowball fast. That's the pattern people recognize. That's the narrative that follows them city to city. So now the question isn't whether Bway can rap. He can. The question is whether he can carve his own lane without inheriting every enemy attached to the NBA name. Can he build an identity that stands on its own, or will the brand automatically pull him into battles he never personally started? Can he separate artistry from warfare? Can YoungBoy shift strategies after years of tension, mature the approach, move smarter? Or is doubling down the only move they know, the same intensity that built the empire in the first place? Because in hip-hop, perception is power. And right now, the perception is that the story isn't finished, not even close. Bway stepped into the light with confidence, but the world he stepped into is still volatile. And when blood ties run this deep, every move echoes louder. So what happens next? Does YoungBoy adjust and protect the family brand differently, or does the storm simply get louder? Or does the camp lean even harder into the identity that made them famous? That unfiltered energy, that defiant attitude, that us against the world mindset that built the fan base in the first place. Because let's be real, that raw authenticity is exactly what turned NBA YoungBoy into one of the most streamed artists of his generation. The chaos, the emotion, the fearlessness. Fans don't just listen to his music, they feel like they're riding with him. And when you build a brand on intensity, dialing it back can feel like weakness. But evolution isn't weakness. Sometimes it's strategy. And right now, every move the NBA camp makes feels amplified. Every lyric dissected, every post screenshot, every show analyzed before the doors even open. So the real question isn't just about pride, it's about longevity. Is the future about protecting the empire or proving a point? Because in today's rap culture, the posts are polished. The captions are strategic. Image control is everything. Behind the scenes, teams calculate every rollout, every collaboration, and every public move. But the real battle? It's always deeper than the timeline. It's about loyalty versus leverage, emotion versus execution, family versus fame. And this one? It's still unfolding in real time. Boy just stepped into the spotlight. The world is watching to see if he becomes his own force, or the next chapter in a story that's already heavy with history. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think YoungBoy should move smarter and protect the family differently? Or should they double down and stay exactly who they've always been? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everything. And if you want more deep dives that go beyond surface headlines and really unpack what's happening behind these viral moments, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because we're not just covering stories, we're breaking down the layers behind them. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and don't let the algorithm think for you.